What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I will be reviewing yet another beer from the Green Cheek Beer Company, and they're out of both Orange and Costa Mesa, California, and this is their Outerspace Is Weird. So they're calling this one a Hazy IPA that comes in at 7.2% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is approximately 3.5 weeks old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Bud, for hooking me up with this one. So big thanks to him for this beer. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Bud hooked me up with. And he hooked me up with two different Green Cheek beers. I already reviewed their Just Two Things Citra and Talus. It was a double IPA. It was quite tasty. And I do want to apologize because in that review, I said that they're out of Costa Mesa, California. And that's because on the label here, it says brewed in Costa Mesa, California. But they also have their, they're also in Orange, California. And I believe that's the original location. But if somebody wants to correct me if I'm wrong, like Bud or someone else, they have two locations, Orange and Costa Mesa. This one is brewed in Costa Mesa, just like the Just Two Things was. So I just wanted to let it be known that I may have messed up the first review. Anyway, this is a Hazy IPA, 7.2%. They're using Galaxy and Ekuanot, and yeah, I'm here for it. Let's crack it open, get it into the glass. Quite fresh tooth, 3.5 weeks old. So give it a nice pour here and see what we got going on. Oh, so that's looking real light. It has that light, nice milky kind of light color to it. I really like the label too. I don't really talk about labels. It's a spaceship that is beaming up a can of beer. I did it from this side just because it says the name of it, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. I guess I'll throw it over here like this. It doesn't matter. So yeah, it has that really light yellow milky color to it. Very turbid, very murky. This is hazy personified. Has about 1.5 fingers to almost 2 fingers of this soap sudsy bright white head. But that looks like a 7.2% hazy. And typically when a beer looks like this and has that lighter color, usually it's more in my wheelhouse. Anyway, let's get a nose. Yeah, it smells awesome. Oh my Lord, that is an explosion of like fruit punch flavors, or aromas, I should say. Oh, what the fuck was that? Oh, there's pineapple, tons of pineapple. There's like this really almost, I'm gonna say key lime, like a key lime pie flavor, but picture a key lime pie, but with like no graham cracker crust. So just like the innards of it with like even like a little bit of vanilla tinge. Pretty crazy. So I've never had lychee before. Never had it. Plan on having it at some point. I think in a couple other reviews I said I had it once before, but I don't think I've ever had lychee. Getting what I think is lychee in here only because I've had this aroma a handful of times, and when I've read tasting notes, whether it's online or on the can, it'll say lychee. I'll be like, okay, that's what it smells like. Just has this really nice fruity aroma, like almost like a floral kind of thing going on. But there's a lot of like sweet orange juice and tangerine, pineapple, overripened peach. That key lime pie, lemon lime thing probably coming from the Ekuanot. Maybe a touch of like is that like a strawberry? I cannot stress enough how much that key lime pie thing is coming. Like it has like this vanilla tinge, probably from whatever malt base they're using, or maybe it's just the hops producing that. It's really cool. It has this, and I got this with Ekuanot before. Almost like a green pepper earthiness, kind of unique. I haven't gotten in a while with beers used with Ekuanot. Back when it was called Equinox and not Ekuanot, I would get green pepper from that, and I'm getting it a little bit here. It has like an earthy green pepper kind of like vegetal thing on the back of the palate. Or I keep on saying, I already said flavor and palate, but this is the aroma. But like just, you know, after all that fruity goodness, I'm hit with it. It's a touch of like a crackery malt base. I also think the vanilla is probably coming from it. This smells fucking awesome. For a 7.2% hazy, the only other, I would be honest with you, the only other two breweries that I've ever had like a sub 7.5% or sub 8%, like regular single IPA, I guess you would call it the single IPA, to this level, aroma is Hop Butcher beers and Other Half. Those are like the ones that really hit me like this. I mean, this is super complex, but it's 7.2%. It's crazy. Anyway, let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Bud. That's really, really nice. Will say the aroma was better. The aroma was top tier. The taste isn't as good, but it's still really tasty. Wow. And I really like the body and mouthfeel at 7.2% on this. Body's medium, so appropriate. Mouthfeel. This isn't overly like creamy and smooth, but it does have a nice soft, smooth creaminess. It's just not luscious. A little bit more carbonation I anticipate, but it's still really nice. Again, 7.2%, really nice. The taste, all of those characteristics carry over on the palate, like almost all of them, like 90%. They're just dialed back a little bit from the aroma, which is kind of to expect. I kind of expected when you're talking about 7.2% IPA. A lot of times, 6.5 to 7.5%. A lot of times, I'll drink them and I'll be like, "Wow, the aroma was better." It just happens. I would imagine this is probably double dry hopped. A lot of times that kicks out aromatics that just don't carry over to taste, but it's still really nice. There's more citrus, like sweeter citrus, orange and tangerine at the front of the palate. I'm still getting that key lime pie thing, although not as big. The vanilla is kind of dissipating, so I'm getting kind of like a key lime pie flavor, but it's just the innards, the actual lime part. No graham cracker, no vanilla, just that lime. And I say key lime because it's like specifically key lime to my palate. A little bit of a crushed pineapple. Overripened peach, touch of that strawberry, but very minute. Very complex, just not as boisterous as it was on the nose. That hits all from the palate. On the second half of the palate, it transitions into this nice, really earthy, slightly dank, like vegetal matter. This doesn't have a hop burn, and that green pepper didn't carry over exactly, but it's kind of in that realm. It finishes semi to full-on dry, a very mild bitterness. It leans sweeter at the front of the palate, but man, does it dry out on the back. No alcohol to really speak of on the palate. Maybe a little warming in the chest, but not much. This is very drinkable at 7.2%. Like I could drink a couple of these. It's not going to wreck my palate. I like that there isn't a substantial bitterness here, and it leans more on the dry side of things. Because I've said this before numerous times on so many beer reviews that I'm not a huge when it comes to alcoholic beverages in general, I don't like dry things, whether it's wine, beer. But I think specifically in this beer, it works well. I don't want like a big resinous kind of bitterness on the back of the palate. I want something to balance out all that fruity, good malt sweetness at the front, but I need something to balance it out, but I don't want it to be bitter. And in this case, I think that semi-full-on dryness is really doing its job. Super easy to drink. This is really nice. The nose to me would have been like a high 4.5, low 4, 7.5. Got to knock it down probably like a quarter point. So still a really good beer, but it's not to the aromas level, and that kind of is a disappointing to some degree for me. Still real fucking good beer. So Outerspace Is Weird from Green Cheek, no problems giving that a high 4.25. I'm going to go 4.35. Almost gets in the low 4.5 range. If that aroma would have carried over a little bit better, I'd probably get a 4.4, 4.45, something like that. But as is, a 4.35 out of 5 is a great score for me, and this is a very tasty beverage. Price point and availability. This was $18 a 4-pack at the brewery, and availability, I think Bud said this is pretty much brewery only, or like in and around the two breweries. I don't think it gets distro. I don't know of anybody outside of California that can get their hands on Green Cheek. So yeah, you got to be in California and know some good friends like Bud to drink their delicious libation. So 2 beers from them. They're 2 for 2. Really good stuff. I'm glad Bud was able to hook me up with 2 different offerings, a double IPA and a regular IPA. They're both really good beers in their own way. And yeah, I'm really excited. I hope I get to try more from Green Cheek. Again, I've heard nothing but good things about them from Bud and others, and being able to try a couple of their beers is so awesome. So I can't thank Bud enough for this beer. If you've had it before, post in the comment section what you thought about it. I really like the cartoon nature too of their labels. Again, it's just a really good label overall. You got the cacti out there, the stars, but they do it in such a way that kind of tugs on my heartstrings. I don't know. I just like it. So again, if you've had this beer before, post in the comment section. If you've had anything from Green Cheek, let me know what you think about it. Thanks again to Bud for this beer. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.